Lackey drove back to the job site, doing a slow burn, jamming a Ronnie Millsap tape into the player with an extra hard shove and turning up the volume on There Ain't No Gettin' Over Me, all in an attempt to take his mind off of Lincoln, the parole officer. A lot of people had told Lackey and Ronnie that they were asking for trouble when they began hiring ex-cons. What the people had forgotten to say was that the trouble wasn't from the parolees themselves. Frigid air drifted from the pickup's vents as Lackey made the climb and bend to the left on Loop 820, crossing over Airport Freeway, then whipped across 2 lanes of 70-mile-an-hour traffic to take the northbound exit onto Grapevine Highway, finally halting at the traffic light on the access road. There was a Kip's restaurant on his right. In the restaurant parking lot, the grinning statue of the big boy held a giant hamburger on a plate aloft. Directly in front of Lackey, across Grapevine Highway, 2 men wearing jeans walked around on Hudaberg Chevrolet's used car lot, kicking tires. So what do we do now, Lackey thought. All of the parolees were doing too good of a job to let any of them go, and the budget wouldn't stand hiring any more people to take up the slack caused by the extra parole visits. Lackey had been planning to put on an extra crew for the West Side bathhouse job, but Mrs. Hardin's killing had changed all that. For maybe the 100th time since his discharge, Lackey wondered if he'd have been better off staying in the army. Nope, no way. He wouldn't have Nancy. The traffic light flashed green. He turned right onto Grapevine Highway, then immediately fought across 2 traffic lanes to make a left, headed north on Davis Boulevard. He steered the pickup several more blocks between a Taco Bell and a Big State Auto Parts, finally turning left on Lola Lane. The job site was on Lola, a couple of blocks west of Davis, across the street from a 1-story grammar school in a neighborhood composed of small brick veneer and wood frame homes. The guy whose house they were remodeling was a plumber. Lackey figured that with the hourly rate plumbers were getting, the guy could afford it. He pulled to the curb at the job site, then paused with one hand on the pickup's door handle. What in hell was going on? A Tarrant County Sheriff's car, a metallic blue 4-door Impala with roof lights and a wire screen separating the front seat from the back, was parked in front of the house. Jesus, Lackey thought. Now Lincoln's sending somebody over to hassle these guys on the job. Well, that was something that F&F Construction couldn't put up with. A cop standing by while the men were trying to work. Scare the neighbors to death is what it would do. No way could they put up with that. Things were bad enough as it was. Lackey got out, slammed the door with a thud that rocked the pickup, then took long, purposeful strides across the lawn and around to the back of the house, ready to give somebody a ration of shit. Frank Nichols, Ramon Gomez, and 3 other men, a black named Daniels and 2 Hispanic guys named Bagoria and Nunez, stood off to one side of the addition, talking in whispers and shooting glances toward the 2 plainclothes cops who were listening to Ronnie Farias. Ronnie was standing on top of a mound of excavated dirt, his glossy black hair riffling in the wind as he held his hard hat in one hand and gestured with the other. His jaw was working non-stop as the 2 cops stood by, one with folded arms and the other with hands on hips. The county men wore white shirts and dark ties, were coatless and had holstered pistols hanging from their belts. There were badges pinned to the holsters. Both of the cops were tall and rangy, one bald with a sunburnt scalp, and the other with a full head of blonde going to gray hair. The bald guy wore mirrored sunglasses. The blonde's complexion was fair, reddening in the sun, and he was squinting. As Lackey approached, Ronnie was saying, "And can't be more'n half an hour or so. I thought he'd be here by now, tell you the truth." "We got enough trouble keeping these people occupied without all this," Lackey said. "So what are you guys after?" The bald sheriff's deputy was holding a photo. Light flashed from mirrored lenses as he looked at the picture, raised his head to give Lackey the once-over, then lowered his gaze to the photo. "Ferguson, Lackey X